I started off comparing the Ascension to this great event of a rocket. I don't think that fits at all, really. I think it's more of a process. One of my coworkers this week began the unique process of teaching his son how to ride a bicycle. And so the first step he did was to take off the training wheels. And then he stood behind his son and helped him steady himself. And then he noticed, as the kid was going along, he could remove his hand. And the kid was pedaling along just fine. That is until he noticed Daddy wasn't holding on. And then he'd scream and fall over right there. And so they did it again and again and again. And every time the dad removed his hand, the kid would fall over. So then the dad figured out, my son just needs me to be there with him. So he would run alongside his son. And he did fine. I think that's a better image for you and for me as Christians in life, for times of transition. Jesus' departure isn't a rocket ship because he's still with us. It's this process where Jesus is walking beside us. Maybe he's walking beside us through other church members who are encouraging us. Maybe he's walking beside us through that special Bible passage that gives you courage, encouragement and hope in those tough moments. I want to leave you with one more thing this morning. It's a prayer many of you probably know part of. It's a prayer that talks about change and what God does about change. And there are copies of this available in the Welcome Center after worship. It's a prayer called the Serenity Prayer, written by Reinhold Niebuhr in the 18th century. And it begins with those familiar words: God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And it goes on, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did, this world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. God's place in our life during times of transition, times of change, is that he is with us. And as we look to him more and more through his word, through our brothers and sisters in Christ, the church, he reminds us that he is with us to give us reasonable happiness in this life, but more importantly, supreme happiness forever with him in the next.